Welcome to the We Are Change talk show. I thank you for joining me. Los Angeles is often referred to as the city of broken dreams, but for some those dreams turned into nightmares. Joining us this episode is Jamie DLux. He has exposed an enormous amount of corruption behind the scenes in Hollywood. Let's go to that interview now. So you've done an incredible job exposing the corruption and pedophilia taking place in Hollywood. Well done for that, Jamie. What got you started in this work?
Man, I don't know, honestly. Of course, I hate saying it now because you get so discredited from so many people. But I can say what did start me was Pizzagate. I don't know what the truth is. I can say that. I can see both sides, really, but not the fighting over it, because there's a lot of circumstantial shit there, and once you look into it, you can't help but, if you have a heart, you can't help but think something's going on, or at least back then I couldn't.
That's what really brought it to people's attention, didn't it? Pizzagate,
exactly.
And the Clinton emails too, Podesta, and
that's what I'm saying. Now it's there's a war, not a war, but you can't even talk about it with certain people because you start fighting over it. There's no purpose in fighting over it. I can say that that's what got me into it, because I was like, what the hell? And I can say that the emails kind of, without, you don't even need to say Pizzagate, the emails speak for themselves. Whether some of them some of them are definitely code. I can't say 100% sure what it is, but they're definitely speaking in code.
That's obvious, isn't it? And you look at the FBI and they break down some of that code, don't they, with the symbols?
Yeah, and there's definitely some weird connections there. But that's been out for over 2 years, and it's like beating a dead horse. So, but yes, it did get me into it. So that's what got me started. I started watching YouTube videos on people talking about it. And I'm like, you know what? I feel like I could do this. So I just started doing it.
Very good work, and it's rewarding. People should be complimented for that work, exposing that type of evil, but people are being hit with censorship, and it's like the opposite effect.
Yeah, it's like, if you do exploit kids, free ride on YouTube. If you try to expose it, you get shut down left and right. But hopefully it's changing. I don't know. Hopefully. I don't know if YouTube will, but, the world at least. It's more than YouTube anyway.
Yeah, and many child actors would have gone on to have a very bright future, and they would have been superstars if they hadn't have been violated. It really is heartbreaking, isn't it?
It is, and the more you always realize. I always noticed when I was younger, child actors, they're all messed up when they grow up. They're all on drugs, they overdose, they die young. Now we're starting to learn why. Really, I don't laugh, but that's why.
That explains it, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them have been traumatised. Do you think we'll see a day where there's an end to this twisted perversion? They'll be able to...
I hope. Deep down, that's why I don't worry too much. Deep down, I know the time, to take a much bigger perspective, a much bigger view. In the time in the universe we're living in, it's like that time. If you look up the original meaning of the word apocalypse, it literally means uncovering.
Yes.
So, we're going through that revelation, revealing, disclosing. But see, everything can't come out at once because we go insane. So it just leaks, little here, little there, pulling the bricks from the bottom of the pyramid, if you will, to knock it down.
Yeah.
Just to always look at it. It's hard to be in. It's really thick, dense energy.
Yeah, it seems rampant all throughout Hollywood, and a lot of actors want to protect their own career. They don't want to jeopardize that. So they take an oath of silence.
Exactly, and that's where it comes in. Everyone's just too scared. So that's one reason I said, well, I know fear is how they control us. So what I can do is show people to not be afraid. Of course, I'm not in Hollywood. I'm on the other side of the country. But I started my channel with my name. It's my stage name. I'm a musician, but it doesn't matter. It's a name I've used since I started online 20 years ago. Jamie DLux for my music career.
Very good work. And you've uncovered suspicious circumstances surrounding many celebrity deaths. It ties in with like what Randy Quaid was saying, there's a malignant group of star whackers in Hollywood.
Yeah, it seems like it, huh? Seems like
Yeah,
it.
very scary.
Well, yeah, honestly though, I think a lot of it, because everything's like mafia run. It's like a mafia.
Mm.
And I think that goes with government, that goes with any big, if you're going to be a big person, a big name, you get to be controlled.
Yeah, a lot of them are compromised too, which must take place at some of these Hollywood parties,
Yeah.
videotapes, and they get threatened.
Well, you saw that. Did you see the interview with the dude from the Scorpions? And I love the Scorpions. It's a great band.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, what the hell, man?
Yeah, they there was like a buy-in where they put like I think $100,000 in, and then they watch someone get murdered. That's horrific.
Yeah.
And even he was
Yeah.
shocked, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He was shocked. He's like, nah, I left. But it's like, he said something later, nonchalantly. He didn't go to the police or anything. But I guess, can you with people that powerful?
That's right, because they own all government agencies and police are
Yeah.
bought off, and these people are moguls. They really run things, and you see when people get that much power, they must feel like they've got carte blanche where they can just do whatever they want.
Exactly. And like a lot of like, I went through my own like quote unquote spiritual path before all this came out, and mine started 2013. So I mean, I was an atheist my whole life. I don't claim any religion now, but I spiritual. It's a weird word to say because people view it in different ways. I had my awakening, I'll say. And where was I going with that? I was going somewhere with that.
That's very important that you did, and hopefully many people have that same awakening. The information's out there. Some of it is very difficult, and I believe the way they put it like that with the clues, that's to avoid any lawsuits, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's for, They're not saying who did. It's because you learn about law, and you learn about like law is very confusing to me. I don't speak legalese at all, but I know there's little tricks to get around things, like for instance, always say allegedly, always say maybe sometimes ask, like saying a question, is he blah blah blah,
Yes.
instead of saying, little things like that really help. That avoids lawsuits too.
Yeah, very good clues. The information is out there. So have you been contacted from anyone in Hollywood, either complimenting or...
Small time actors or ex actors and stuff like that. Nobody like major or anything like that. Anybody would know. Nobody I even knew. Because I didn't even know who Owen Benjamin was when I got on this show. So yeah, I mean, just smaller people, bit parts here and there. I talked to Jeffrey Levy, who directed. He's a director. He directed SFW.
Okay.
With Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah.
Reese Witherspoon. Yeah. And he wrote Ghoulies. But basically, because I called him out in a blind.
Right.
It wasn't a blind. I'm sorry, it wasn't a blind. It was just a video of something I noticed. And like he said something like, "Oh, you're slandering me. You owe me an apology and stuff." And he wrote like a list of reasons why I was wrong about him. So I mean, I shot him an email and apologized and stuff. So we've been talking a few here and there. I haven't talked to him in a few days though, but he's been really nice. So
I guess he sees the bigger picture over what you're trying to accomplish and where your intentions are coming from. Otherwise, yeah.
Exactly. He even said that. He's like, you know what? He's like, I admire you for what you're doing, but you're wrong about me. So, I mean, and I accept the fact that maybe he's trying to trick me, and I was right about. I accept that. But if someone's nice to me, that's the best way to get information, whether I know or not, because I don't. I could be wrong. I could be right.
Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of the families of the victims would be very grateful too, and they would watch your channel also.
I didn't even realize it was going to happen this way. I've got so much support from victims, and I guess survivors is a better way to call them. And like that's when I started, I didn't even like fathom that. But I got so many people telling me like, "Oh, I'm a survivor," or "This happened to me." I'm like, "Man, I'm sorry," because it didn't happen to me. I've had my own problems, but I wasn't abused in any way.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I have kids now. That's one reason that I started doing it.
Yeah, that's a strong motivation, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Everything changes.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And what got me switched on to just how widespread this corruption was the documentary An Open Secret.
Yes.
They
Yeah,
cover a lot in that.
I found that later, but it is. I use it as a source a lot because there is sourceful material in there. Just like the Michael Hara outed himself in the movie. He's a manager at the end. I think it's the end where his old client calls him up and he's like, I didn't like what you tried to do to me in the bed and touch me. He's like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. It was unwarranted. I'm sorry. Well, then I found some more dirt on him with blind items. So evidently he's not the only victim survivor.
And I believe that Michael was linked in with the Screen Actors Guild as well.
Yep. They were protecting him, allegedly. They were protecting him.
Frightening. They've covered every avenue, haven't they?
I don't think people want to rock the boat too bad because here's something I didn't really realize. I think it might have been on San Tripoli. I have trouble remembering that show, but where I think it was there, they were saying how when people get called out and stuff and the sales stop, that's all the residuals and people's paychecks for years and years that they planned on getting from doing that movie or whatever. So I never thought about that because the sales are going to decline on everything. So they're not going to get all their money.
Yeah.
So
and
I never thought about that.
And what about they exposed that Den, the Digital Entertainment Network, and you had moguls, David Geffen, putting money into it.
Yep, David Geffen, Michael Huffington, Bryan Singer, plus a bunch of more people. I think it was a lot worse than we even fathomed there with Den. Like once I started hearing about it, I just thought it was like a small off thing. But David Geffen, come on. Yeah, he's put money into it. It's got to be pretty big. Yeah. And all those people that were kind of accused there. What Gary Goddard, he's had multiple accusations. You got to find something to make you happy. Even though to me, happiness is in the moment. That's like I enjoy and I'm happy to make my videos because I enjoy making them. It's that creative element in me. Yeah. But I think like once you slept with every hot girl you could think of or however many, and well, that's just not doing it for him anymore. He's got all the money in the world, so he gets sicker and sicker.
Still no excuse for their twisted perversions, isn't it?
Hell no, it ain't no excuse.
But yeah, that could be a factor that plays into that.
A factor, at least, for some of the power. I'm trying to think that. How does somebody get to that? I know some of them were abused, but not all of them. Not all of them. And that's not an excuse either.
Yeah.
Because they can stop the cycle.
That Bryan Singer, it's a wonder that he's still a free man walking the streets with the information that's out. He deserves the electric chair.
No shit, man. I think Papa Geffen has been helping him out for a while. That's what the rumors were.
Yeah, and then they throw like Harvey Weinstein into the media and persecute him. He's a twisted, perverted man. But then there's other people that are a lot worse.
It's weird because I think although that was needed, it's kind of masking what's worse underneath because they don't really talk about the children.
That's right.
That are abused. Yeah, they talk about the girls and about Terry Crews getting his dick grabbed or whatever, but they don't talk about the kids. So.
Yeah, that's very manipulative the way they do that. They throw a couple of predators out there to save their own.
Or just like Rose McGowan, like all this Harvey Weinstein stuff, never mentioning that she worked with Victor Salvo, who went to prison for like molesting Nathan, I forget his name, Nathan something, but like an 8-year-old boy back in the 80s, I believe. Mm-hmm. And she worked with him after that, like in the 2000s. So.
And you've done a really great job exposing that and some of the Oscars and Roman Polanski. You see Macaulay Culkin tweeting during the Oscars saying
I did see that. Here's my thing with Macaulay. I don't know where I stand with him because I think, maybe he's trying to put truth out. Then I also think he's got a sense of humor. Is he messing with people? Is he taking advantage of people's what people are finding now just by messing with them? So I don't know. I don't know where I stand. But I did do one blind item exposed about Macaulay Culkin. And there's some weird stuff. And according to the blind item, he did see, I don't know if you heard about the article, I believe it was last year, about, red shoes.
I did see that.
Okay.
And shoes made out of children's skin, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the thing is, some websites you got to watch out for because there's no sources, and so that's what I took it as. I'm like, Well, because originally I tried to find the audio because it was supposed to be like a radio in France. He was on a radio show. I couldn't find it and stuff, and I'm like, wow, it was just probably one of those made up things. But a few months later, according to a blind item, he did see people murdered. He did do this, that, and the other. And papers or news outlets that published the stories took them down real quick because they were threatened. Blah blah blah. And lo and behold, that news article that I originally saw, I think it was on Neon.net, was taken down, and they revealed the one item as Macaulay Culkin. So, shit, I don't know, man. Even in my mind, doing all this, it's hard for me to fathom that, to accept that as a possibility. But it is a possibility. It's sick, but it is.
And what about his Pizza Underground band? It's very twisted and
it's weird, man. It's really weird, doesn't it? That's another thing with comedy. Like I'm a musician.
yes,
And I played in punk bands for many years, since the late '90s. Like, and I used to tour a lot. I've only played DC like once. I played around there, but I lived in South Carolina. I only live 2 states away. It's like, yeah, North Carolina, Virginia, DC's in Virginia. That's where it starts. So I'm 2 states away. I've never heard of any of those bands before, and you would think that I would at least hear one of them because I used to book shows here. A lot of times when bands come down, I'm 2 states away. They can book a show here. And I've never heard of any of those bands. And they're all weird and most of them suck. It's really strange.
and you think his publicist would step forward and try and deter him from that because it doesn't help his image. If anything,
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
No, it doesn't help his English. The whole bunny ear thing and all that. I heard one podcast with him. I was like, you know what? I like this guy. I think, I feel like I could sit and chill with him and smoke a joint and talk to Macaulay Culkin. This is last year. Then he came out with the bunny ears stuff.
There needs to be investigations started, just off the information that's been presented.
I know. Well, there has been, but unfortunately, it's not by certified, that I know of, at least, certified law enforcement. It's just by concerned citizens, I guess.
Yeah, I've watched all of your channel, and I was shocked to hear about Ted Nugent. And
yeah, and it's all out there. That's the thing. That was even a blind item. Those are news articles. Because I don't only use blind items. There's a lot of source material. Those are news articles. That's his own words. It's crazy.
And the crazy thing, I was just starting to listen to some of his music, and I was thinking, yeah, he's really talented on guitar. And then I watched that video that you done, and I'll tell you, I won't be listening to any of his music anymore.
Yeah. I always thought he was a good guitar player and stuff. I never really liked his singing much, but I liked his guitar playing. But yeah, what a scumbag. And they don't have any shame about it either. They don't.
Yeah, and being the president of the NRA, it makes him a bit of a wild, loose unit there. So
yeah, that's another thing people have to realize though, because he's got his views and like Ted Nugent's views and all that, and NRA and stuff, and people that are for that might not want to acknowledge Ted Nugent because he's on their side or whatever. That's why I don't like politics. It separates us more into smaller groups, and that's what that's a big purpose for it. Mm. Fight against ourselves, because a Democrat and a Republican can't talk civil. Used to be able to, but you can't anymore. You're enemies. It's stupid to me.
And with the information that's been brought forward on him, he seems to be untouchable. Like Courtney Love admitting that on Howard Stern, that should be enough information to press charges.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know how it works. I don't really know the law, but I guess if she wasn't the one pressing charges, or statute of limitations too, if it happened 20 years ago or whatever, nothing can be done about it, which is horrible. That needs to change for sure. Mm. It definitely needs to change.
And all of his song titles, Jailbait, he even admits it himself.
Yeah, he admits it. Jailbait, what was he talking about? Officer, she's 13, put the cuffs on her, not me, I'll share her with you. What?
Yeah. That's so disturbing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's very disturbing.
And it's right in your face, too. He's not hiding it. It seems like what it is, these people are national treasures, they're icons, and they don't want their name to fall because it doesn't look good for the country. So it seems like they're going out of the way to cover up the wrongdoings and their crimes.
Yeah, and I think there's just this other level, and all the underlings were sleeping, and we didn't really notice it. It was out in the open, but we didn't notice it. They, yeah, I did that, laugh about it, and then everyone just nonchalantly is dumb and laughs. It's not our fault that we're dumb, but We've been dumbed down. We've been hypnotized. So now we're waking up and noticing it because a lot of the stuff I found is just stuff I dig for and it's old. And that's something I noticed. They were a lot more open up until probably after 9/11.
Yeah.
Or not exactly, but around that timeline. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's my birthday too. 9/11's my birthday, so
true.
It's a weird day.
That would be an important date for you then.
What's that?
That would be important, every year that your birthday reminds you of that event. So
exactly. It did it for 21 years. Not until my 21st birthday. That's when it happened. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really corrupt. And as you said, you'd done that video finding Feldman's molesters, and he watched it. Wow. That's really going up the chain, isn't it?
Yeah, and that was one of the first Hollywood videos I really did because I listened to his book, and I noticed he left clues that were solvable.
Yeah.
Movie locations, like what movie the guy was on, all that stuff. I'm like, well, if you just take the name out of it that he gave in the book was Ron Crimson, and his real name was John Grissom, which sounds just like it. If you take the name out of it, I should be able to figure it out just by the clue that they were here at that point. He was in this movie. He was here at that point and in this movie. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, he just told me right there. Just to put those clues together. Who's in those movies? That's not five. And sure was the other one. Oh, man, I don't remember.
There was a few of them, wasn't it? And you've seen he asked for $10 million to expose the corruption, and he was going to make a documentary. Now, that doesn't seem very genuine, and he's coming from a good moral standpoint if he's looking for monetary gain. And I've had Fiona Barnett on the show, and I've spoken to Isaac Cappy on Twitter, and he put out a video where he named Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Just like yourself, you've done a video on that as well.
I've done a couple that were blind items of Spielberg, because I can't say anything for sure, but I can say patterns and things other people have said, especially Crispin Glover.
Yes.
That essay he wrote was ridiculous, and so the rumor is that he left after the first movie because he put his foot down and he wasn't going to watch them mess with kids anymore. Yeah.
And then he was blacklisted.
Yeah, then he was blacklisted. The only reason he worked is because there was people that kept him working that, and he's a good actor, so.
Yeah, and you exposed that. And Heather O'Rourke.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. That's a bad one right there. That's really bad.
Very, very sad.
From the get-go that bothers me about it is I have a son and a daughter. My daughter's 3. I think Heather was 4 when he met her. He comes up to her by herself and just starts talking to her. And she's like, I'm not supposed to talk to strangers. Who the hell does that? You don't go out and talk to someone's kid. I don't care who you are. Just without the mother around. It's just weird. And introduce yourself. We're not strangers anymore. I'm Steven Spielberg. I don't know. That's weird. I don't want anybody coming up to my daughter, some man coming up to my daughter and start talking to her. I think I'm right in the nuts.
Exactly. And see, a lot of the parents, they've got their own motivations too, money and fame.
Money.
And they're willing to overlook certain aspects of the industry just for that overall goal and for the successful career that presents itself. And Steven Spielberg is the one that can facilitate that.
Yeah. And it's bad because everyone wants to be happy, I think. And we've been fooled to think that money, fame, power, that's happiness, or one of the above or all three or whatever. It's not, though. That's the problem. It's not happiness. It might be superficially happy. You might be happy buying this and that and the other thing, but it wears off. It wears off pretty quick, too. You move up, you feel elated, you feel happy. You move down, you feel sad, depressed. But they're not doing what they love doing. That's where real happiness lies, with love and doing what you love doing in the moment. Not like, I want to do, just thinking about what you want to do and taking for granted everything. That's the only way to really find happiness is in the moment.
Absolutely.
Just like, because we work jobs all day that we don't, even though I have a good job and I like what I do, I still gotta go to work 9 to 5, but I'm a pretty happy person because I get to be creative. I have complete creative. Not YouTube. I have YouTube I do for free. It's a hobby.
Yeah.
I have an actual job. I'm a
Very
photographer
noble
and
of yourself to do that.
I mean, I feel weird even like saying that I did it. I just did it because I felt I was feeling like first off I found all this stuff about it when I started. It was the Pizzagate, but I had kids and I wasn't playing that much anymore, and I wasn't able to create. They don't let me play guitar around the house. They hit my guitar and stuff. I'm still in a band, but I barely play anymore. It's a creative outlet because I make all my videos on my phone.
Yeah.
So, on my little iPhone SE, I can do it anywhere. So it's something I can do. I have a phone in my pocket at all times. So everything on all my videos, unless I do a screen capture from OBS, and then I'll upload it to Google Drive or Dropbox, and I'll still work on it on my phone. So yeah, everything's on my phone.
Watching your videos, you wouldn't think it was from a phone at all.
Phones are amazing now, and this is a small phone. It's the iPhone SE. It's a few years old. It's pretty small, but I can do anything on it. It's like magic.
Technology's great like that, how it's speeding up and you can use it for good. And you're looking after children worldwide too, and it's an industry and educating parents on just how disturbing it is. There's a wealth of information on your channel that can provide parents with information if they're thinking of having their child embark in the entertainment industry.
You just need to watch your kids and not just leave them with the nice man in suits but it's not my class system or whatever. I'm not a suit wearer, I'm a hard worker and all that. Not that they aren't. I think I'm just putting my foot in their mouth.
And even Elijah Wood, he said that he was aware of it and his parents didn't let him out of their sight.
And he was in Back to the Future Part 2, a bit part. So I thought that was weird when I found that out. I didn't know that until I made the video about it. I was like, oh, it's Elijah Wood. Whoa.
Yeah.
That's something crazy. When I start making videos and stuff, I notice how much connects to other things. And that's something I never knew before.
And you know what it seems like? These people are very talented at their jobs. So these corporations are willing to overlook certain crimes just because they're bringing in big dollars.
Big dollars, and sometimes they blackmail each other. That was the case with supposedly with Dan Schneider.
Dan Schneider, that's right, yeah.
And Sumner Rentner. I didn't know who he was. Some rich old guy that owns like everything, I guess. Sumner Rentner.
Yes, yeah, he's a rich conglomerate.
Yeah. I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
So I have these people, they're not even famous to me. They might be famous, but not to me,
He rules with an iron fist, that Sumner Redstone.
Not for long.
There, hopefully, isn't it?
Yeah, hopefully. I don't know what he's doing shit. You ever wonder, like, some of these like, old rich people, they're probably like 300 years old and drinking baby blood or something. And I mean that, I'm not serious about it, but you have to wonder. Yeah,
there's a lot of satanic rituals come into play, doesn't it?
Yeah. I don't know if it's all Hollywood. I don't think it's all Hollywood. No, it's not. It's not. I can say it's not all Hollywood, even though I'm not in Hollywood. But I do believe that everything to exist has to have a polar opposite. So people look at things one way, just like with the left, right, or Republican, Democrat thing. They're not seeing the whole truth. They're not seeing the whole truth. They're seeing it one-sided. So I know if something exists somewhere, that the opposite of it exists there too, or neither could exist. So I know there's good people there. I've had people reach out to me that are good people. They're just not big-time actors or anything. But
yeah.
The best way, like a good metaphor I can put it, is you remember the 80s 3D movies?
Yeah.
Like Jaws 3D, Freddy Krueger or whatever.
Sure.
You wore the blue and the red glasses to the movie theater. Now, if you were wearing those glasses and they were just red, you wouldn't see the movie in 3D. If they were just blue, you wouldn't see the movie in 3D. You'd see it just red or just blue. You need both to see all the dimensions that they were able to see, at least. So that's
a good analogy. Yeah. And you see a lot of celebrities, they cover one eye.
I can't even kill an animal personally. No offense. I mean, I'm not saying I don't care if people hunt. I just can't do it, But I eat meat, so I'm kind of a hypocrite because I'll go to the grocery store and buy some hamburger or something or a steak. I just won't go do it myself, I don't got it in me.
Yeah, and you see a lot of these politicians over there, some believe they got Kuru like Hillary Clinton from drinking blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, and George Carlin said it, when you live in the US, you got a front row seat to all this circus.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're watching it unfold.
So a lot of us didn't realize that up until recently. So
Yeah.
We're just in the beginning stages too, which I think it's crazy. Because sometimes I'm thinking like, well, has everything changed yet? But I look back over the last 2 years, everything's changed a lot. And just how long it's been going on, it's not going to happen like that. There's no way. And people have to wake up slowly. We've been in summer so long, we can't just wake up fast and start going. Shit, I'm getting old. I need a cup of coffee and a cigarette before I get going for the day. So.
And what I've found is really strange and unusual is a lot of celebrities, when they're starting to really make a name for themselves, their star is really starting to shine, they'll put them in a humiliation ritual, make them wear a dress or do something that's really going to affect their whole consciousness.
Yeah, you gotta. Well, I've used this metaphor. I like using metaphors if you haven't noticed.
Mm-hmm.
I've used this metaphor before because it's a true story. And I think it's the same way with Hollywood and things like that. I used to have this rabbit. There were 2 rabbits. Peter Cottonmouth was my rabbit, and my sister, we got her. She wanted a rabbit, so we bought his brother, and she named him Robert Smith because she loved The Cure. She's a big Cure fan.
Mm-hmm.
So I had these 2 boy brother rabbits. Well, my rabbit was a gay raper. He would, I don't think he was penetrating or anything, but he would hop on the other rabbit and just hump and hump and hump. I'm like, man, what the hell? And I ended up giving him away because I didn't want to live with a rapist. And I thought they were just gay bunnies or whatever, or mine was. Years later, somebody tells me, no, it was power. It was dominance. It was dominating the other, And then I'm like, oh, that's what happens. You sell your soul or your whole, you sell your whole, you bend over. And maybe not for everybody. I think what I've heard at least is there's 2 ways in Hollywood to go. You need to work your ass off, master your craft of acting, and get better and better roles over years. Or you can bend over, be a bitch, and, it starts happening a lot quicker. You don't have to put in the work.
Yeah, I've heard that too. It's like a shortcut.
Yeah, shortcut. I don't know if I want to take that shortcut.
No.
I like the journey personally. I'm not trying to get there all quick. We didn't get them behind me or anything. It's sick.
Yeah, isn't it? I'm an actor and I'm on a lot of movie sets and TV sets, and I've heard strange jokes with different references regarding that exact thing. So inside jokes and things of that nature.
Yeah, because when it's an inside joke, only people in the group understand it. Or understand it. From an outside perspective, you kind of get the gist after a while. That's kind of what I saw with James Gunn and his jokes. Which
shows there must be validity to it. And what about that Patton Oswalt talking about NAMBLA members, how they should be able to have their way, and it just goes back to...
Yeah. You have to wonder if people are just idiots or if there's something more devious, because I don't know. I can see it both ways, because I know he and his wife had a weird death and all that. It's just so weird to me now, like looking at all these famous people. I don't look at them and say, I know they're just regular people. They just, maybe not so regular though. I mean, regular as they're not all powerful or anything. They just have been, because we've given it to them. Well, shit, not anymore, man. Not anymore.
And anyone that looks like a liability that's threatening to expose, that's where it goes back to those suspicious deaths, like Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
They make an example out of people.
Chris Cornell, Chester. The list goes on and on and on, too. Even Mark Salling from Glee.
Yes,
He was going to jail for child porn. I'm not saying I like the guy or anything, but he did die suspiciously.
And Chester Bennington, they say he's the son of Podesta, the first biological son, and you see a lot of them like to sacrifice their firstborn, don't they?
That's crazy. Yeah, I guess so. That's something you hear about all the time, like sacrifice your firstborn son. But I've heard other rumors that it could mean another thing. Sacrifice your firstborn son in Hollywood. I think it could mean let your contemporary actor friends that are helping you out have their way with them. I've heard that too.
So have I. I think you've even done a video on that too. Heath Ledger.
Yeah. Man, that's bad. like Heath
Yeah,
Ledger too.
everybody loves Heath over here in Australia, and I'm sure they do over there as well. So it was
Oh
shock.
yeah, yeah. I remember watching him in an Australian movie. Candy, was it Candy? He was a heroin addict.
He's been in a few ones, even small budget ones that were really good. Two Hands.
Yeah, yeah, that was a small budget one. The one I'm talking about. I think it was
Yeah,
called Candy.
yeah.
Him and his girlfriend were heroin addicts or whatever. Because like I've always been interested in Australia for some reason. Because I think it's neat because it's like here but different. I guess I feel like it's kind of like here, but a lot different. You know.
Well, you've been
It's the
welcomed
same
with
language.
open arms here in the truth community. Everybody here is very appreciative of your work.
Oh, I believe I found out over the last like year and a half. I have a lot of people that watch my videos from Australia. I hear it, so I appreciate it. But I've always been interested in it, though. I think it's neat. Plus, I think the Aboriginals are neat.
Yeah,
Because supposedly they're on supposedly like on a different level of consciousness, where it's more like I think they called it. Man, I don't remember. I was into a lot of philosophy and stuff before all this happened, so I was learning more about it, but. Yeah, it's like a more natural consciousness where they can do that.
You've got another channel.
Thing.
You've got another channel too, don't you? The Stone Philosopher, is it?
Stone Philosopher, which I'm banned from live streaming on for 3 months, but yes, I've just put some poetry on there and some songs and stuff. But usually I would just live stream like every night and hang out with people. Then I have a backup channel, DLux Nation, and I think I'm going to have another channel and live stream there. I don't know. There's too many channels, but. Yeah, it's hard live streaming to 50,000 subscribers. I can't keep up with it.
Yeah, and the subscriber base is going to continue to grow.
And it has been constantly. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm happy with it, even though people are like, you need more. Since I've started, and especially since like a year and a half ago, because I only started 2 years ago, and I'm almost at 50,000, and it's been growing consistently for like a year and a half, just nonstop. So I can't complain,
A lot of people are interested in celebrity life and pop culture, and they want to research that. It's there's an attraction to that, and when something goes wrong, the mainstream media isn't covering it, so they look at independent media for the truth.
Yeah, no, definitely. And the thing is, like, I think that what helped me so much was solving the clues Corey Feldman left in his book about who the molester was, the first one. And then I realized the way that Corey Feldman wrote that is similar to, maybe not similar in the writing, but the clues are there in the blind items, just like the clues were there in his book. The names aren't there, the clues are there. So I'm like, well, this is kind of like that. I can start, it's like a puzzle. And like this matches up, that matches up, whatever. It's like a crossword puzzle. I used to do crossword puzzles with old ladies on my break. So,
and it's good when you have a subscriber base that can help out with information, because I've looked at some of the puzzles and they're very complicated, because some of the clues they're referencing are less known actors.
Yeah, definitely. But I've learned so much by doing it. There's different ways to when you're researching, you have to go through multiple search engines. You can't just use one. Different ones will pop up different things. And there's all kinds of good source material. There's the archives of deleted web pages. Now, they might not always be there, but sometimes you can find old screenshots of them. So there's lots of good material out there. We live in the future. We can look back and connect dots. That's what we can do now. We can see that we used to only see what we're supposed to see. Now we can see from other perspectives in other countries what was happening at the same time and what they were being told, and just connect and just see where it all connects. So,
and what you've been right on point. You've just released a video recently about George Pell. That's big news here in Australia.
Yeah, you know what's crazy about that? Like I don't know anything about him. I saw that and that he was like a high-ranking member of the Vatican or the money
Cardinal.
And
and a lot of prominent politicians, they've looked back, was supporting him and giving him their approval. So it just shows you political aspects, religion, they're all intertwined in this sick behavior.
Yeah, political, religious, Hollywood, anything that, puts them in this elite seat for whatever reason, it seems to be controlled. And I think the gay mafia, which is a real thing, is not only involved in Hollywood, it's involved in the Vatican too. So.
Yeah, that David Geffen, he's a big part of that, isn't he?
Yeah, supposedly.
Ryan
I heard about it. like, yeah, it's probably nothing. You know, that sounds stupid. The gay mafia. No, there's a gay mafia for real. There really is a gay mafia. So, yeah.
Yeah, and they rule behind the scenes, don't they? And
Yeah.
and some of it's the assistants, it's the publicists, it's the receptionists. Those are the people.
Well, just like you were saying, handlers earlier, and I talked about that first blind item with Don Henley, his manager and David Geffen came over to help clear up the mess. You know, like, you know, pay people off and this, that. So I guess that's kind of what a handler does. But you know what's weird though? I did those Natalie Wood videos about her death.
Yeah.
Off the boat and all that, and their lawyer, I think, was their handler, because you could just tell he's just making it up as he's talking, right? And
yes, I've seen that. That's right.
Yeah, and I found more paperwork later, more articles and stuff, and he was a mob lawyer. I didn't know that. And handler, or I don't know if they said handler or cleaner, like a cleaner, like the wolf from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
So
exactly what it is.
He wasn't a very good one, because I just know his bullshit just watching this old ass interview after Natalie Wood died.
And Christopher Walken was present as well at the same time, wasn't he?
Yes, but according to all the information I found, supposedly he went and talked to police in 1984, like 3 years after it happened, 4 years after it happened, and, you know, told them everything. So I don't know what. That's according to the information I found with the blind items and everything. I don't know if it's true, but the thing I do notice with blind items is they seem to come to fruition later on. Like, he seems to be right a lot.
Yeah, and when you see the law enforcement, a lot of high-level authority figures are Freemasons. They're linked in with all entertainment. So the cases seem to just fall on deaf ears and they get closed and they don't even get investigated.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, like, especially with Hollywood, what was her name? Madam Alex. She was an old Hollywood madam around that Don Henley video time. She's the one that Heidi Fleiss took over for, like, stole her book and all that. Heidi Fleiss stole the business while she was in jail. She had head detectives that were friends of hers and would help cover up stuff and, you know, help her. And one of them got busted years later for, like, robbery and all this corruption. I forget his name, but his name isn't anything anybody would know. I didn't know it either, but it just goes to show you that, because he was finally convicted years later, that, you know, it doesn't matter what uniform you wear, it doesn't matter what, you know, you say you are, there can be people like that in any aspect of life. And it doesn't mean they all are, but they can be. You can't rule it out.
That's right. It's a secret society pulling the strings in Hollywood, isn't it?
It seems like it.
And you did a good job.
Like just compliance. I mean, if you're not going to join in, you definitely better not say anything then. Or you won't work again. Or worse. You know? I guess I feel somewhat protected because all I do is find public information. I don't have me, like, inside. I'm not in Hollywood, you know. I'm just a concerned guy that has this ability to put together videos with my phone and I find public information. So I hope at least. I hope nothing happens to me. But when I started this and I saw that shit was happening, I said, and I decided just to put my face out there and everything. I said that if anything's worth dying for, this is it. So, and I really wanted to show people to not be in fear, because that's how they control us. And if more people weren't afraid, you know, once more people hit critical mass, you know, we'll realize, well, there's a lot more of us than there are of them. We don't have to be afraid.
That's right. And now you're a public figure. There's like a level of protection that you've got now, because it'd be really strange if something happened.
Yeah, people would be wondering where I was and stuff like that. So definitely, I'm starting to have some more suspicions about a guy named Joel Schumacher. I'm starting to have a lot more suspicions about him, especially since I made that Renfro video.
Yes, Curing Renfro. I watched that. And it really is so sad. And a lot of the child actors, some of them, they don't even make it in the final cut. They get cut out of the film and they're just used and abused.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Supposedly, allegedly, that's what Mr. Spielberg always has extra boys there to come try out. That's what I hear, at least. That's what the rumors are. But another weird thing is listening to Corey Feldman's book. He would talk about when they were filming Goonies. and how all right, there's 4 boys, there's 4 characters, the main characters, not counting the other people like that were probably teenagers, like his older brother and stuff. I'm just saying, probably more people too, but just focusing on those 4 boys. Each one of them, according to Corey Feldman's book, had 3 or 4 lookalikes. Because you had a stand-in, you had like a stunt and something else, I forget. So you figure with just those 4 boys, that's 16 boys right there they got. Just those 4. That's not counting everybody else that might have had the same thing. And then I know Michael Jackson visited the set, and other people visited the set, but I thought Michael Jackson was weird. But he was good friends with Spielberg for a while, so. And,
yes, and he was going to be in Peter Pan, wasn't he?
Yeah. Something else I noticed is birds of a feather kind of flock together. Because,
That's right.
They're gonna seek out other people with similar interests. So, God, it's sick, but I think it is all coming out. It's just hard for people to take.
And what about the set of that apt pupil?
Yeah.
Some of what was written in the contract, they didn't uphold their end as far as nudity is concerned.
Well, yeah, the underage, if you're under 18, you weren't supposed to be nude. They even said that. The kids, like, I'm not getting naked, I'm under 18. Because they just had that big article come out in The Atlantic about Bryan Singer and all these accusations and everything. And I don't even think that's it. I think there's even more that I don't know if it's going to come out or not. But just there's been mentions of him maybe traveling to, Epstein's Island and stuff by a yacht. So his name wasn't on the plane. Things like that. And he was good friends with Kevin Spacey. Actually, what I've heard is they were more than friends. I heard they were lovers. And Kevin Spacey cheated on him and he, got bitter. And I heard that from somebody that used to be close to Bryan Singer, too. So.
And TMZ, I think, even confronted Bryan Singer about why he was fired from Bohemian Rhapsody. And you can see very strange behaviour when asked those questions.
It is like, I don't know. He doesn't he just mumbles like he's like some kid or something. I don't know. Some kid being harassed. The weird thing about that, even TMZ, I heard that was all set up. Because, I don't remember the exact connection, but pretty much I think David Geffen is involved with it. Because he owns some company that, I don't know, I wish I didn't bring it up because I don't have the answers to it right now. But I think there's some control there. There's some control there with TMZ. I just don't remember the dots that go. But, yeah, that's what I heard at least. That's what I heard.
Because when he's been confronted other times, he's basically running to the vehicle trying to get away as fast as he can.
Even by TMZ.
And Corey Feldman, when he was exposing what was taking place on The View, the first statement, you're going to affect the industry, they didn't praise him for what he was doing, and trying to protect children. They come from an evil angle.
Yeah, like, what's her name? I think in my video I made, I wrote old ass lady. She was that's what I named her. Babs or something.
Yeah.
I remember.
What is it, Barbara Walters?
Barbara, yeah, thank you. Old ass lady. I like taking little jabs at these people, just little things like that. Yeah. I might not even notice at first, like the Ted Nugent video. He's doing an interview, and I misspelled it. Ted Nugent.
Good work.
I just like making little cuts, little like jabs at these people because fuck.
They deserve it.
Exactly.
And what about that CBS interview? He starts flying off the handle, yelling, and it was
unprompted. I know. And then at the end, he's like, if you find somebody, whatever, like more committed than me, I'll suck your dick. And then he yells at, what the hell? Then he yells at the girl, like the producer or whatever of the CBS show, or I'll eat your blank. So what?
It must be his conscience coming back to haunt him.
Well, he's getting really defensive. He gets really defensive over pretty much nothing. So yeah, he's got some issues. I would say if you get that offended for, I don't even think the guy said anything defensive. I haven't watched it in a while. I made it a long time ago, but if I recall, he just like flew off the handle for nothing.
Yeah. All people have to do is a bit of research, and it starts coming to light.
And a lot of things aren't just blind items. A lot of things are actually out there, and he's one of them. Self-admitted. Maybe not the label that we put on him, but self-admitted like young girls and underage too, or at least he used to. I don't know if he still does or not, but still. Yeah. And he has no repercussions for his past because that's something else I'm learning. I was born in the 80s, so I missed a lot of, yeah, I was a kid in the 80s, and I wasn't around in the 70s. I guess it was more normal back then. It was like, this 30-year-old man for 13-year-old girl.
See, there was a lot of talk about behaviour and lewd acts because Pizzagate, that wasn't brought to light yet. So people were a little bit more game in speaking out. You did one, Sugar Ray. He made an admission on camera.
Yeah. He was coked out of his mind. But that's no excuse, because I've been coked out of my mind, and I still wasn't. Not anymore. I'm saying, I'm like,
yes.
I used to play music and party.
Yeah.
I don't care how drugged up I was. Unless that's in you, it's not going to come out. Unless you feel it. I wouldn't joke around about that.
No one would they? They got game.
You know what makes jokes funny? There's truth to them. Now that wasn't a funny joke, but to him it's funny probably because there's truth to it. Just like I joke around about drugs and stuff because there's truth to my past, And like what I say is like shit that I've lived, and there's some truth. You can exaggerate, yeah, but there's truth to it. That's what makes shit funny.
Yeah, and some things it's just not a joking matter. It's very twisted. Sense of humour, a lot of these celebrities. They're Twitters.
And it makes you wonder, why is it so twisted like that? Well, we're big on through.
The great thing is, independent media nowadays, people can expose it straight away on YouTube and get followers, so it's very hard for them to go undetected.
Yeah. Well, I think that's part of everything we're going through with the whole apocalypse and stuff. That's another reason, like I said, I don't worry, because I feel like it's like so much above us that we're just living it. We're just in the moment of it happening, and it feels like it's going slow. Some days I feel like it's going fast. I can't keep up with news cycles or anything. Not even, when I'm into like independent news and stuff, I can't keep up with that.
Yeah.
It's like every day it's a new thing. Bam, 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 bam. I think there's people that actually know things that, they have to silence, or they think they have to silence them. As far as Chris Cornell is concerned, he was the main backer of a documentary that was being made, or they wanted to make, The Silent Children, that never came out. And like 3 people died from that movie, supposedly. Him, Chester Bennington, and Leroy Moore from Dave Matthews Band, who it was his idea in 2008. I don't even kill bugs, man, unless I have to, and I feel bad about it. If a hornet's like coming at me or something.
You see some people, when they're so driven for success and they're hungry for that fame, they'll do anything.
See, not that I always have been, but I used to want that. I used to be hungry and driven. But I think, maybe that's why drugs got in my way. Maybe there's a purpose. So I didn't go down that road, and I fucked myself up and had to, I'm clean now. I'm just saying I spent 17 years of my life on opiates.
Yeah, you said that. That's honest.
Yeah. And methadone, and like I finally got off all that right around the time of my awakening. So maybe there was a purpose for it. It's a good way to look at it. Instead of saying, no, it wasn't a waste. I learned a lot.
You've got a moral compass, and anyone that's got morals and decency, you think that would prevail in the long run. Yeah. And you're doing a perfect job, excellent videos, continued success with all you're doing, Jamie.
Oh, thank you. You too, with your acting and your We Are Change, Melbourne.
Thanks very much. We'll end it right there for today, folks. The links to Jamie DLux's YouTube channel will be in the description. Join me again on the We Are Change talk show, where we expose corruption, one episode at a time. Are you tired of hearing lies and fake news on mainstream media? Do you find it insulting to your intelligence? Well, look no further. The We Are Change talk show is here. President Trump has launched airstrikes on Syria. A lot of his prominent conservative supporters have turned against him after this action. Have you suffered human rights violations or been a victim of corruption? The We Are Change talk show would like to hear about it. Phone the number on your screen today.
Who the hell's going to listen to a little guy? You guys are, thanks.
Yes.
It's what we're here for.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And what I hope is they don't put a mother and a child in the house, because that child will die. And no one seems to believe me.
Once again, much love to everybody at We Are Change, and I look forward to seeing you guys at more events in the future and working more closely with you.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for the call, my friend, and all the best of luck moving into the future.
Much appreciated.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. You know, the legendary Jeff. You know,
Without the instrument of We Are Change, we will not have a future. We will not have a country or world to leave to our children. We won't have children able to function in it. So be a part of it, join it.
We Are Change Melbourne gives those who mainstream media have ignored a voice, exposing corruption, injustice, human rights issues, and much more. We Are Change Melbourne is the voice of the people.
Yeah, this is Jeff. Met Jeff for the first time I'd met Jeff. He too is a lovely chap, and he has a YouTube channel called We Are Change Melbourne. So if any of these topics pique your interest, pop over to We Are Change Melbourne and say good day to Jeff. You've seen that video that's just going past the interview, Enough is Enough. I watched that one.
Phone the number on your screen and be connected with the We Are Change talk show.